What is up, guys? You got Not the Worst here, bringing you another Black Desert Online Silver Breakdown video. And today we are covering the not so popular spot, Bashim base. It is located in Valencia, as you can see here, just east of Altanova, right there, to this spot right here. Now I'm heading over to this guy here, Leech, something like that, Liche. And the reason for that is he has a Caphras daily that you want to pick up. You need to do a chain of a couple of kill quests first to unlock the Caphras daily if you haven't been out there before. But if you go directly to the actual node manager, he doesn't have it. So you don't want to go directly there. If you're going to do the Caphras daily, grind here at any rate. As far as should you grind here or not, is it worth your time? That kind of is going to depend on you. Let's go ahead and cover a few things first. As far as what the place requires, it's recommended 100 AP. And what I can say is, yeah, probably 100 AP is plenty. I ended up grinding this on my lawn just because it has Marnie stones and might as well have leveled up my lawn a bit. I think it was 209 Kudum at the time on my lawn, which was completely irrelevant. You could totally just burn through this at, I don't know, 100, 120. I mean, really, really, really low AP numbers. You could just do the main story quest and get the freebie weapons that it gives you doing that and easily do this place because you're going to one-shot the groups of mobs regardless. And it actually comes out to pretty decent experience, which I usually don't track in these silver breakdowns, but I can tell you I was finishing about 17, sometimes 18 of the 250 monster kill Marnie stones. So it was quite a bit of XP. My lawn went from like 1%, 59 with like 1% XP, basically base level 59, up to, I was actually like 18.8 when I finished the 20 hours, mostly just from the Marnie stones, and then obviously I had some XP buffs just sitting around from different events and things. So I don't typically go into XP of these zones because I'm usually doing them with another character, but that's what it was from there. Next up, let's take a look while we're cruising over there at the item drop list, and I do have a note about this place as well, and then we'll go over the rotation shortly after that. Okay, so as you can see, you have all these little Rosar weapons that can drop. This can be handy if you're used to like Gahaz or Kadri, where it drops these and you get a lot of enhanced versions. Kadri you get a lot, and Gahaz both, because they have elites, they tend to drop Rosars that are enhanced a little bit higher. Actually, let me rephrase, a lot a bit higher. You get about triple the amount of Rosars an hour at Kadri than you would at this zone. And it fluctuates a bit, but we'll see that in the spreadsheet in a little bit. And then I found that the odds that they become enhanced is much, much lower. And even when they are enhanced, they tend to be a lower enhanced level than you see at Gahaz or Kadri as well. So that means if you're extracting them for the Blackstones, you're actually going to yield less Blackstones than you would in other areas overall. As far as other things to drop, of course, we got the Blackstones, Energy Residue Scrolls. Since it's Valencia area, we got the Solar Ring, Diddly thing, Weakened Ring, Yona Frag, Caphras, and the Ancient Spirit Dust to make more Caphras. What is not in this list that actually does also drop here that I discovered during these 20 hours, and I say I discovered it during these 20 hours because, oh nice, because I'd never ever been to this spot before doing this video at all. It was completely uncovered on my map. It does drop 3 black magic crystals that it doesn't list here. You can get the precision weapon crystal, does indeed drop here. You can also get the precision what would you call that, hand weapon, glove weapon, yeah, gloves. Obviously the glove one, I did get one of those, and you can see the price on those is actually pretty decent right now. I believe it's 4.6 when it dropped, and I didn't bother selling it, and it's been on the rise, as have all black magic crystals by a little bit, up to 5.7. That one does drop there. And then the third one that you get is the agility crystal, this guy right here. This one can also drop here. I'm not sure why these weren't in the item drops. During a live stream I was talking about it very briefly, and someone said that it used to, and somewhere along the lines they must have gotten it messed up. But those items do definitely drop here. I couldn't tell you why they don't have it actually show up in the item drop list. It's possible there's more that drop here, and maybe I just didn't have a single one drop in the 20 hours, but I doubt it. It was probably amongst those 3. So next up, since we're here, I'm going to go ahead and show you the rotation that I ran. There's actually a few different options. Since I was on lawn, you can kind of flex your rotation a bit because you get that cool gliding ability that can zip around if there's a gap and kind of make some rotations you couldn't necessarily do as efficiently on other classes. I did grind a few hours on my DK originally, starting this, and then just stopped immediately because it was such a joke at that AP level, any AP level really. So I'll park my horse about here, which gives me some clearance, and I actually don't really start the rotation. It's just there's sets of mobs in the area that I can kill on the way up if I need to stack to my horse, which I needed to do a couple times per hour. And the rotation I use would start right down here. So I would zip down this way. You could glide down it. You maybe use the glide a little bit later, or you can run down the mountain, which I run up it to go to the horse, and begin right about here. So then I don't have any armor on this character right now, by the way, so we're going to not really run through the rotation. So just burn through this stuff. There are a few elites or violence or whatever you want to call them on the way. They don't have an amazing drop rate or anything like that. They drop just the normal stuff that every other mob here does, but nothing like absolutely incredible. Yeah, I can't get hit. I don't have any armor on this character now. So go down there. I'll run through this little zone here. Big group right there. Kill these guys. Zip around this way. Kill these guys. Jump over to this pack. Kill these. Jump over to this pack. Kill these. I don't even have movement speed crystals because I don't have boots. Nice. And then just go down this pathway, killing this group and this group and this group. You kind of get the idea. You see all these groups of dudes. You just go all the way down this, through here. Keep it moving all the way down and around. And this just creates a big, giant circle all the way around to pretty much where we started. This part, there's a little bit of a gap here. So this didn't really make a big deal on lawn, and it's not that big anyways. So you just zip around and then boom right here. Then you have another elite spawn right here on the right-hand side. So he pops up there. These elites actually respawn pretty frequently compared to Cadre. I know they spawn based on windows. I couldn't quite get the exact window timing, but I've definitely seen them respawn as low as 10 minutes sometimes. So just kind of keep an eye on that if you are in this area in general. That pack, this pack, coming down, and then we're almost right back to where we started so that you make a nice little circle. I wouldn't say over clear this, but I did catch up to where at my mob spawn point. So when that was happening, I would maybe go back to that far corner over there and clear a couple extra if I was really pushing my time doing it. The thing is too, the lawn's pretty mobile, so you know, we're moving around the map pretty quickly. Okay, and then we're right back to where we started. This is where we killed that elite when we got in. So that is your rotation. Let me go ahead and get out of this spot, and we'll take a look at how the loot per hour went. As far as other metrics that I wanted to note that were with this, I do have 4 tier 4 pets that we're looting, which is definitely helpful at this spot since it is a high mob density area. Obviously, faster looting pets does matter for this kind of zone. I did have level 10 node for it, as I always do. My ecology has not changed. It's still at 7% as well. And I did have Comma Blessing running the entire time that this was on, as I do for all the 20-hour grind videos. Another thing to note about the rotations while I pull up the spreadsheets here, there were a couple other rotations that I had tried out. One going around a cliff, kind of the opposite side of where that dip down was. And those do work just fine as well. I just ended up sticking with that one because it was quick to get to my horse back and forth. So I could just kind of get in and out and push through these 20 hours and be done with it. Speaking of the 20 hours, here is our spreadsheet. So of course, first thing everyone wants to know, what did we average? In the 20 hours, I averaged 33.3 million silver worth of stuff. Wasn't that terrible. I did worse at Centaur since BMCs are crashing in price when I did that one, which came out to like 28 mil, so it's a little bit higher than that. But overall, like, there's definitely better spots. This area is very nice if you are really low AP and just trying to build up a way to grind some amount of silver in a decent amount of time. It's not bad at all. It's never contested. I think I ran into 2 people ever, and they were likely just doing a Caphras daily and getting out of there pretty quickly. I averaged about 27 Rosars. Like I said, this was a fair amount less than what you see at Gahaz or Kadri in an hour. 5 of these Sula drops was whatever. Black Magic Crystals, we saw 1 every half hour on average. You can see it kind of spread out where there'd be 2 that would drop, you know, and then 0 for a little bit here and there. This was kind of interesting. I actually came out with more Caphras, not including the one you get from the daily quest, but I actually averaged more just raw Caphras drops than I did actual dust. Kind of interesting to me because you would think with a higher mob density area like that spot kind of is, you would see a lot more dust, but I didn't. It was just straight out more Caphras than dust overall. Stones came down to what ended up in dropping enhanced. I extracted all the enhanced Rosars down to black stones and then didn't count them in the Rosar section as I always do, like I did with Kadri. So I peaked at 75 with that, and then in some I think there was like 4. Or is there 3? Or yeah, 4. Pretty low in there. As far as trash loot, I averaged out about 5,000. These first few hours I actually did on DK, and then these first 4 hours I did on DK, so I was kind of figuring out a rotation the first little bit, and then kind of like got a set one. And then I switched to Lawn, and it took me a few hours to figure out Lawn's skills because I haven't played her since she first came out. Once I got it down, my once I had it kind of down, then my trash loot definitely went up. So you probably average around 5,500 if you actually know how to play the class that you're playing while you're grinding here. I did get 50 black energy residue per hour on average. That's no surprise because, again, it's just the number of mobs you're killing, and you're killing a whole lot here. Yona was about what you see anywhere in Valencia, just depending on the number of things that you're killing. Again, petals, same scenario there. The trace of earth that drops there averaged about 8, somewhere much higher than others. This one surprised me. I did not expect to get this from scrolls, although I probably should have. I've said this before in previous videos. It's pretty obvious ever since they changed the scroll drop rate at like all of the Valencia areas, nerfed Gahas a little bit, nerfed Fogans a little bit, increased Bashim, increased Kadri, and even I think they boosted Centaurs a little bit. They try to give everything about the same amount of scroll drop rate, and since this is a zone that has a lot of mobs dying quickly and not less mobs being killed that are bulkier, like say Centaurs or Bazzi, the scroll drop rate actually shocked me and came out to fairly close to what you'd see at almost any other Valencia spot, averaging just over 6 per hour, surprisingly. 12 was the peak here, and then 4 being the lowest, which is honestly not too bad for scroll drop rates overall. As far as the silver, like I said, 33 mil per was the overall average, but we saw our peak at 50 mil, and I believe my worst was 25, unless there was maybe a 24 in here. 25. Yeah, 25, and that was mostly attributed to is the very first time I'd ever been to Bashim in my life, so I was kind of figuring it out. Peaked at 50, so in between there, and then averaged out at 33. Again, to recap that, it's not incredible. Obviously, in your higher AP areas, you're not going to waste any time being at this spot. You can make much more money elsewhere, but this is an excellent spot for anyone between 100 and I don't know 170 or so AP until you get to a point where you're better off at Fogans and can at least hold your spot. If you are tired of heading out to Fogans, or you can't quite do Gahas, or you just don't want to have to duel all the time to hold your spot, or you're always losing, this isn't a bad option. I would almost call this place like a Fogans light, since it is in Valencia and you get scrolls. You don't have to use the water and an East tea like you do at Nagas. It's not a bad position to be at if you're just trying to gear up. But again, don't waste your time in higher APs, which you probably knew that already. It wasn't a secret, which is also why I used an alt to do it, to kind of not want to rip my hair out while doing it. So that's the breakdown on it. That is Bashim base. That is covered. The next one coming up is Nagas, which I am also doing on my lawn as well for the exact same reason I did it. I did lawn on this. So I'll probably be 61 by the time I finish that one. I've just started the 20 hours for that. And that one will be out next week following this video. As far as other things going on, patch notes will be out tomorrow if you are watching this on release day. We do have some enhancing live stream coming up. We're going to be working on Tet Bazzi this weekend. So you want to catch that at 7 p.m. Eastern Saturday night. And that is in the Twitch channel in the description below. If you want to check it out, head on over there and drop a follow so you get a notification when we go live. And then we'll have a follow-up stream on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern as well. That is it for this video. Be sure to like it if you did enjoy it, or it was helpful to you or to a friend maybe that you recommend that just started playing the game, and this is a great spot for them to get a little bit of money to gear up. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe so that you get notifications whenever we get a new video that's released. There's always channel guides, updates, this 20-hour grind series that we do, all kinds of stuff on the channel, so you definitely want to come check that out. Anyways, that is going to be it for this video. Everybody, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.